Well, I know one thing's for certain, that Christianity's integrity is at stake if Jesus doesn't come back. Because everything rests, all the promises, all the hopes, is backed up by Jesus coming back to the earth with his holy angels. Because that really brings about the finality of all of prophecy concerning Christ. It doesn't stop just at the resurrection and his ascension into heaven, but it's all wrapped up. All Bible history is wrapped up after his return to the earth and his setting up the new world religion and world empire with his holy angels and saints of old. And if none of that ever happens, then Christianity is a dead religion. St. Paul said that in 1st or 2nd Corinthians chapter 15. He said that, I believe it's chapter 15, somewhere there in his letter to the Corinthians, in Corinth, Greece, I believe. Greece, or was it Turkey or Greece? I believe it was Greece. Right above the Mediterranean there. He clearly said that if the resurrection isn't true, I assume you can throw the promise of his return to earth too. That we might as well just be, drink and be merry. For tomorrow, that's it. In other words, I believe he's saying that there really is no basis for believing in Christianity if the resurrection isn't true. So the Apostle Paul was willing to stake his whole life on it, and he jettisoned his career as a leading one of the major members of one of the greatest religious sects in history, the Pharisees. It was a religious order that had a lot of respectability and prominence back in ancient Israel. And he was willing to abandon all that. He said he considered it rubbish, the things that he attained and achieved. It was all rubbish, it was all refuse. It was garbage because of what he discovered by his encounter with his own encounter with the resurrected Christ. Because the resurrected Christ appeared to him on the road to Damascus, and he and his traveling companions experienced it, and that's where the Apostle Paul was converted. He was converted on his way to arrest and bring back as prisoners Christians that were in Syria, Damascus, to bring them back to the councils of Judaism, and for them to give an account of why they defected from Judaism. It was a major sin to defect from Judaism, just like in Islam. Once you're a Muslim, you can't denounce it, or they'll come after you. It's almost like the mafia. Like the mafia, where if you disassociate yourself with a particular cult, they send out their henchmen. They're very serious about once you join, you're either fully in or you're fully out. So it all hinges on whether Christ comes back. We know that he rose from the dead and he ascended into heaven, as many witnesses have testified. Christ's disciples and the other people that were there when he rose from the dead and ascended. because Luke goes around and talks to a lot of people about their eyewitness account of what they personally experienced with Christ. And he wrote it down to give to one of the leaders of Israel, Theophilus, I believe his name was Theophilus, to give an orderly account of the things that happened pertaining to Christ. And he was a very good and respectable and known historian in the community. So his words seemed to be credible if he had that kind of level of respect and honor and prestige with the authorities and the citizens. But it all hinges on one thing. If Christ doesn't come back, we may not see it in our lifetime, but if he doesn't return, then with his holy angels, then the faith is made void. Faith is vain, and you pursued Christianity for nothing if Christ doesn't return.